It's been 5 years now since the white smoke at the Sistine Chapel indicated that a new pope had been named. Tonight, Brett Baer talks with Washington Archbishop Cardinal Donald Wuerl about the first 5 years of Pope Francis and what lies ahead. Brett?
Thanks, John. Tomorrow is the 5th anniversary of Pope Francis's election. To talk about that, joining me now, Cardinal Donald Wuerl, Archbishop of Washington, to weigh in on the last 5 years of this papacy. Cardinal, thanks so much for being here.
Well, you're welcome. It's a great joy to be back, to be with you, and to think, celebrating the 5th anniversary of Pope Francis. I think the impact of Pope Francis is people see in him, he lives the faith. He bears witness with his life, not just his words. And his whole impact, as I see it, is he's opened up the church in a way that people feel they're much more welcome. He says to them, there's space for all of us here in this church.
I've seen the map of his travel. It is quite something. It's extensive.
It is, and when he was elected, he said, I don't think I will be moving around as much as previous popes. And that turned out not to be true at all. He, for as old as he is, he continues to carry out the schedule of someone 20 years younger, and he's having an impact everywhere he goes.
You know, he met with President Trump, and President Trump remarked with the conversation that they had. There are some conservatives, I guess you would say, inside the U.S. who are skeptical of some of the politics, perhaps, from how he expresses that ideology sometimes. How do you deal with that for your congregations here, talking about ideology and politics when it comes to the Pope?
One of the wonderful things, though, about Pope Francis is he doesn't seem to be inhibited by categories, by labeling. He says what he thinks on a particular topic, and he says it not in political terms and not in ideological terms. Now, you're right, there are those who would try to put it into one of those categories, but I think that's one of the attractive things about Pope Francis. People realize he's just speaking from his heart. It's not from some preconceived plan.
We talked about his age, but he is also active on social media, the
Yes.
Vatican, very active. On Twitter on Friday, he tweeted out, with so much to do, we often neglect what is really important, our spiritual lives and our relationship with God. So let's stop and take time to pray.
That's at the heart of his life. He told us at a meeting that he takes an hour before supper every night to simply be in the chapel. And he said, you know, sometimes at the end of the day, I'm so tired, I begin to doze off. But he said, it doesn't matter. God knows I'm there.
You're there. What do you think he would say about the world, the U.S., all over, and what we've seen in recent years, sort of a secularization and concern from many parents and many communities that there is a fall away from not only the church, but this higher meaning?
He, I think, would be the first one to say there's been this dramatic secularization. It doesn't bring out the best of people. The difficulty with a wholly secularized culture is it doesn't leave space for the realization we're all brothers and sisters because we're all children of God. I think he often says we need to be conscious of the fact that in a secular environment, we could easily forget the most important thing, and that's our soul and our relationship to God, and we have to work at that every single day.
Cardinal Donald Wuerl, we really appreciate you coming in on this anniversary of the Pope's election, and please give him our best.
I will do that. Thank you so very much. God bless you.